Sinus implants will usually feel like a spike or a band pressing on your sinuses and will make breathing difficult by adding resistance every time you go to take a breath. So it will feel like you are breathing through something that is partially closing off your sinus. So to remove it, like with any other implant in your body, you want to inhale deeply while focusing on the implanted area. So you breathe all the way in while focusing on your sinus area. So after inhaling all the way, you use the U breath to lift on the sinus implant for 2 seconds as you exhale up. Also, like every other implant, you need to apply pressure to it by shifting your body's weight onto the sinus implant while breathing into it. This will allow you to grab hold of it and begin the process of lifting it out. So to remove sinus and head implants, it may be easiest to get into an elevated prone position and apply pressure onto your face and sinus area. Then try putting your full body's weight onto the implants in your sinus by getting into a leaning prone position. In either case, you want to shift your weight forward so you're pressing on the side of your face. So either your left side of your face or the right side of your face will be pressed against the surface. Then you will breathe deep while focusing on your sinus area and use the U breath to pull on the implants and the plasma that is formed in your sinus and face. And because you have sinuses in your forehead area, a lot of attention should go to your forehead and the front part of your skull, because that is a major area that will build up with a lot of plasma and will affect your breathing. And that is your forehead area. Like I explained before, networks of implants will form all throughout your face and skull and will make breathing very difficult. So oftentimes when you have a sinus implant, it will be connected to other implants all over your skull. So a lot of attention should go to pressing down and then lifting the plasma buildups in the front of your face, your forehead, and the front part of your skull. And once again, it helps to focus on breathing into the implanted area. However, if that ever becomes difficult, just focus on breathing up and down your spine. And then use your U breath to lift the buildups from your sinus and forehead area. So if the implants ever prevent you from breathing into an area, it's hard to breathe into an implanted area, just focus on breathing up and down your spine. Now, what are snake bites? Snake bites are 2 implants, and their position resembles a snake bite. And a common snake bite is on both sides of your cerebellum. And another common place for a snake bite is high on the top corners of your skull. So if you have a sinus implant, it can connect to snake bite points in the top corners of your skull and can also connect to snake bite points on both sides of your cerebellum. And what this does is it further increases resistance to your breathing by creating a web of connected implants. So a stretching sensation is felt throughout your face, and it makes it hard to inhale all the way. And from there, the implants on both sides of your cerebellum can connect to snake bites in your neck and then expand to connect to implants on both of your shoulders. So this all creates a network of attached implants that continue to fill in with plasma. So the whole area becomes implanted. And this will put a lot of pressure on your sinus area. So if you're ever having trouble inhaling through your nose, even after you have cleared your chest and lungs, it's due to a sinus implant, and most often, these sinus implants will be attached to snake bites that will provide more resistance and give it this stretching sensation. So at the snake bite points, the implants will often be the most hard and concentrated areas. So you'll need to use your body's weight to press on these areas, most often with a leaning prone position, and you want to press down hard on those snake bite points while inhaling all the way, using the U breath to pull up on those areas. So it becomes a combination of pressing down with your weight while you pull up on the implants. And even though you may feel a hardened implant, as if an agent is connected to you, you must still work to pull up on the hardened implants. Because often, these implants have been formed in you while you slept the night before, or while you ignore these areas for a certain amount of time. So again, if you ever have problems breathing through your nose, you must really press down on the sinus and snakebite implants and breathe deep to use the U-breath to pull them out. And often you will feel a popping sensation as the implant is pulled out of place, and you will feel the pressure subside the more plasma you remove. Another exercise is to use the U-breath to breathe up and down the sides of your body. So you start at the highest points, which is the upper corners of your skull, and you want to inhale deeply, focusing on sending your air down through the sides of your head, down through your ears, breathing down into the implants on either side of your cerebellum. Then continue to breathe down into the sides of your neck and down into your shoulders and the sides of your chest. Then, when you cannot inhale anymore, you want to lift for 2 seconds, focusing on lifting at these snakebite points. And usually you want to lift at the highest points first and work down from there. But it helps to alternate, lifting the snakebite points at the top of your skull for a couple of breaths, and then lifting the snake bites in your cerebellum for a couple of breaths, and then lifting the snake bite points in your shoulders for a couple of breaths. And as you exhale, you want to lift for a couple of seconds and then push up on these implants while you are breathing up, and just continue to breathe up and down the sides of your body. And often it helps to stand up and walk around while doing this. Therefore, you can breathe in real deep and then force all the pressure up against these implants as you lift from the sides of your shoulders, neck, and head. And I have found that this is the best to do while going for a run. So you keep your mouth closed and use the U-breath to pull up on the implants that are formed in the sides of your head, neck, and shoulders. So it may take a little practice if you're used to breathing through your mouth while you are running. So try to work up to the point where you could at least jog a little ways with your mouth closed, so you could use the U-breath to lift up on those points. And the first step is being able to close your mouth when you are still in a winded state directly after you get finished exercising. At that time, you have the most energy going through your system, and the implants will be the easiest to pull up. And when you get used to that, you will be able to exercise more while just breathing through your nose the whole time. So as you work to clear the implants that are formed along the sides of your head, you will feel a lot of pressure being relieved from your sinus area, and it will be much easier to breathe. And after you've cleared the snakebite points, then go back to removing the implants in your sinus and face area. And that includes your forehead and the front part of your skull. So let's say you're out jogging and you're breathing up and down the sides of your body. Do not forget to clear your lungs, your forehead, and sinus area. So you also want to breathe up and down the front of your body at least every minute and pull from those areas too. So you inhale deep, then use the U-breath to pull from the chest, or pull from the front of your face, or pull from your forehead. And as you exhale, you want to put pressure on your forehead area, because that is a big area that fills up with plasma and will affect your breathing. And as silly as this may sound, you should never forget to blow your nose forcefully, and this puts pressure on your chest, your sinus, and your forehead area. And that is how you clear your chest, your lungs, your sinus, and your forehead while you are standing up doing other things, because you cannot lay down and put pressure on it while you're out working or exercising. So you blow your nose. Then you jog back home and get into one of the prone positions, either the flat prone position or the elevated prone position. And you press your body's weight on your face, your forehead, and the front part of your skull while using the U-breath to lift the buildups out of these places. And then you could get into a leaning prone position and do the same for the sides of your head, neck, and shoulders. And last, implants will also form in your jawbone area, and the agents are known to grit down on their teeth while connected to you to make breathing difficult. So implants will form all around your jawbone and even around the back of your head, right at the base of your skull. So just bite down a few times with your hand in the back of your skull, and you can feel the muscles moving back there. So it's right around the area of your cerebellum. So it will feel like a band will form in the back of your head at this location. And this also makes breathing difficult, especially when connected to an agent who is gritting down on his or her teeth while you're trying to breathe. So you get into a leaning prone position to put weight on this area as well as your jaw area. and lift the plasma and implants from your jaw and the base of your skull. Alright, this next section is called sinus infections. If you ever have problems breathing through your nose due to a severely stuffed up nose or a nasal infection, this is not something to panic over. If you have to, you just inhale through your mouth all the way in, but then close your mouth and pull up with a U-breath while focusing on your sinus area. So you do the same thing as you would with a U-breath, but you breathe all the way in through your mouth, then you close your mouth and you lift up from your nose and sinus area. So if you ever have problems breathing through your nose due to a sinus infection, this is not something to panic over. So as you go on, you want to continue to try to breathe through your nose ever so often to see how much you've cleared as you go along. And the goal is to get your nasal passages clear and open. So just continue lifting from your sinus and forehead area, as well as from the snake bite points along the side of your body, blowing your nose frequently. And know that if you have a chronic, stuffed up nose, but are not sick with an illness, it is always due to sinus and forehead implants that are attached to snake bite points all through your head, neck, and shoulders. And once you clear these sinus implants, your nose will begin to drain of any mucus buildup. So you will need to blow your nose and exercise often. Sometimes it will be easier to breathe through a stuffed up nose while laying on your back on a flat surface. Just use the U-breath to pull up on your sinus area, as well as from snake bite points in your head, neck, and shoulders. So you want to rotate positions, often standing up and using the U-breath while you take hot showers. And you can use Vicks vapor rub in and around your nose. And realize that fresh air and proper humidity will also reduce sinus problems. So you may have to get a humidifier, especially in the winter when the humidity gets very low. And understand also that electric space heaters dry up the air very quickly, and this causes sinus problems. So especially in the winter, you must air out your living space. You should always leave a few windows cracked open for ventilation, and air out your house twice a day for a couple of hours by opening the windows up wider.